Hey class, it's your boys Alex and John here, and today we'll be presenting to you the digestive and excretory body systems. Our SWBOT is to analyze the different parts of the digestive and excretory body systems and what their main functions are. The function of the digestive body system is to help convert food into simpler molecules that can be absorbed and used by the cells of the body. And the function of the excretory body system is to remove waste from our body and controls the water balance. Now, here are the listed relevant organs in the system and how they help the system function.
All right, hey class. As you can see in the image, there's the digestive system with all the parts in it, and everything that's labeled yellow is in the digestive system, and everything that's labeled green is in the excretory system. So to start, the rectum is the function is to release stool, which is waste pretty much from the colon, and let you know that there's stool to be evacuated. So let's just say that waste is ready to be released from your body, which goes straight to the next part, which is the anus. This is when the rectum is full. Your body feels the urge of a bowel movement, so the anus relaxes the rectum and pushes out. Pretty much just the waste is about to come out of you, so the anus helps just push it out. So the next part is the large intestine, which is in both the digestive and excretory system. And the large intestine has three primary functions: to absorb water and electrolytes, produce and absorb vitamins, and forming and propelling feces toward the rectum for elimination. So there's a lot of parts in the body to help the digestive and excretory systems work. So now we have a words are cool moment. So the large intestine broken down, large of course means big, and the intestine means the organ that is in the lower part of the alimentary canal from the end of the stomach to the anus. So that's really just what the large intestine means, broken up into two. So then you move on to the part right next to the large intestine, the small intestine, which is the part of the intestine where 90% of the digestion and absorption of food occurs. The other 10% taking place in the stomach and large intestine. The main function of the small intestine is absorption of nutrients and minerals from food. So it's small intestine is just to absorb everything that you eat and you drink and make sure that it comes through your digestive system properly and down to your kidneys. So the next part is the mouth, which is the entry point for food. But the digestive system often gets ready before the piece of food enters your mouth. So before you even open your mouth, the digestive system is ready for the food to come in and ready for all the functions to happen in your body. The next part is the esophagus, which is the long, thin, and muscular tube that connects the throat to the stomach. It helps food float through the throat to get to the stomach. So it's pretty much just what you think a throat is. It just lets food get to your stomach properly and smoothly without no congestion or anything wrong with it. Then the last part is the stomach in the digestive system, which makes acid and powerful enzymes that break the food down and change it to liquid or paste. So the stomach just breaks down all the food that you eat and makes sure that it can go through every other stage in the digestive system properly. So then moving on to the excretory system, the liver is used to filter the blood coming from the digestive tract before passing it to the rest of the body. The liver also detoxifies chemicals and metabolizes drugs. So the liver is pretty much used to carry in blood and let it stay there for, while the digestive system is doing what it does before it's being passed to the other parts of the body. The next part is the kidney. The kidneys are used to remove waste and extra fluid from your body. Your kidneys filter about 200 quarts of blood each day to make about 1 to 2 quarts of urine. The urine contains waste and extra fluid. This prevents buildup of waste and fluid to keep your body healthy. So the kidneys are just really used to make sure you have the right amount of urine and blood every day, and to make sure your body has the right amount of nutrients and is healthy every day. So the next part is your skin, which is a primary function to act as a barrier. The skin provides protection from mechanical impacts and pressure, variance in temperature, microorganisms, radiation, chemicals. So you can think of the skin as a cell membrane. It blocks other things from coming into the body, pretty much. And then the last part of the excretory system is the lungs, which could be considered by some as the biggest part, which is the process of gas exchange called respiration or breathing. This makes sure the lungs are just make sure they stay alive. Like without it, you can't breathe, and you need your lungs to keep a steady breath and survive pretty much. So now I'm going to hang off to Echo for the next part.
So how does the digestive and excretory system work with at least two other body systems to function? To answer that, the digestive system absorbs water and nutrients from the food that we eat. The digestive system simply is a way to absorb anything that we've consumed throughout our day. And in addition, our circulatory system carries oxygen, water, and nutrients to cells throughout our bodies. So the circulatory system basically is a train for those nutrients and the water that we've consumed throughout our day to transport it to the cells all throughout our body. Now, who's that scientist? William Beaumont was born on November 21st in 1785 and died on April 25th in 1853. He was a U.S. Army surgeon, and he was the first person to observe and study human digestion as it occurs in the stomach. So, without further ado, let's hand it back to John.
All right, so the next part, we have two cells in each the digestive and excretory systems that are needed for it to keep working. So the first one in the digestive system is the goblet cells, which their main function is just producing protective mucus. The goblet cells are just used to protect mucous membranes where they're found. So just make sure that mucus is always protected and that it can keep working. The next cell in the digestive system is a Paneth cell, which produce and secure lysosomes capable of digesting bacterial cell walls. So we need Paneth cells to make sure that lysosomes are secured and our cell walls don't get eaten by bacteria, and that they're able to keep working. And then the two cells in the excretory system that are needed are the gland and canal cells. The gland cell is a cell that releases or produces substances that perform a specific function in the body. So the gland cells are used to make sure that certain substances in the bodies are bring to a certain area in the body where it's needed the most, not just let out to anywhere in the body. It's used for a certain purpose and a certain reason. Then the next part is the canal cell. It is very similar to the neck cell. It is a single row on the throat canal that helps food travel through the body. So it's, as we said, it's very similar to the neck cell and the esophagus, where it just helps let anything go through the throat and canal very easily, flowing through, no stoppage, nothing. And then we have a link to a video about the digestive system and the excretory system, which is very helpful, and there's some jokes in there as well. So I'd like you to look at that. And the last part we have here is Echo explaining how the digestive system and the excretory system are different in humans and to animals.
Thanks, John. So, in humans, there are more organs than there are in snakes. Humans have a large intestine and a small intestine, while snakes only have a small intestine. In addition, snakes do not have an esophagus. As you can see, the second picture is a chicken, and chickens, instead of a rectum, have a clacao. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. A clacao is a common cavity at the end of the digestive tract for the release of both excretory and genital products in vertebrates. Now, here are the two pictures set side by side so you can compare the differences for yourself. So, the snake, as you can see, only has a small intestine, and this is because 90% of the digestion and absorption of food occurs in the small intestine. So, the large intestine for a snake, it's not really a required organ. So, this is why the small intestine is the only organ found in a snake, rather not both a small intestine and a large intestine. Then, as you can see inside of the chicken, it is a bigger organism compared to a snake, and it does have a large intestine and a small intestine. And just like a human, the large intestine has three primary functions: absorbing water and electrolytes, producing and absorbing vitamins, and forming and propelling feces towards the rectum for elimination. Cacao is basically the rectum for a chicken. It has the same function of a rectum, basically, where it releases genital products in the vertebrae. It isn't called a rectum just because it is smaller, but it has a similar function that the rectum has. So with that, those are some differences that two organisms have compared to a human. And then just below here are our sources. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See you.